the November 18th meeting of the Johnston County Board of Commissioners to order. Welcome all of you who are present here in the room with us. Also welcome those who are watching on our YouTube channel. Welcome to you as well. Before we get started, I do want to remind everyone of the board's 6 priorities. They are educational funding, infrastructure, financial stewardship, land use, public safety, and our county employees. And I think, as always, you'll hear, if not all of these, most of these in our discussions and items on the agenda tonight. And then, as is customary, we will open with an invocation. I've asked Commissioner Stevens to lead us in that, and I've asked Commissioner Smith to lead us in the pledge. So if you so choose to stand during the invocation, please do.
Dear Lord, we gather before you tonight with grateful hearts that you give us the opportunity to serve this amazing county. We ask that you be with us in all decision-making this evening, Lord, and we thank you for the opportunity to serve and all those that are here today. And it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Is it? Arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. All right, next item is the approval of the agenda. Is there anything that we need to change on that? Do I hear a motion to approve as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The agenda is approved. Next up, we have 4 items on the agenda tonight, on a consent agenda. We have approval of the minutes from our October 21st meeting, 6 o'clock meeting. We also have 2023 State Appropriations Act directed grants, and we had 4 of those. We had a radios for water rescue, for fire departments and nonprofits in the amount of $385,000, the Bentonville Battlefield State Historic Site in the amount of $700,000, and the Moccasin Creek Service District in the amount of $250,000. All 4 of these grants have been accepted and budgeted by the board, but due to recent guidance, now requires us to be accounted for in a special revenue fund, thus requiring these ordinances, and that's why they're in the consent agenda. Next up, we have the Health Department Athena Health Agreement. They were asking to approve them to be our electronic health records provider for our health department. And then we have 3 budget revisions. The first is a $1.6 million, roughly, adjustment to the opioid settlement funds for fiscal year 24-25. This was included in the budget presentation for the fiscal year, but inadvertently omitted from the formal budget ordinance. So just a correction there. We also have a LEO separation of about $8,000, and then also the sheriff's to move some revenues into the appropriate expenditure line items for about $54,000. So that's all the consent agenda items. Anyone need to be removed?
Mr. Chairman, with those footnotes noted, I move it be accepted as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Consent agenda is approved. Next up, we have the public comments, and I think we have some people who asked to sign up. And so first we have up Dr. Marilyn Pearson of our health department.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Right there. All right. So I wanted to bring good news
All right.
to you all this evening. Local health departments in North Carolina are all required to undergo an accreditation process. Usually this is every 4 years, but this was extended to 6 years due to the pandemic. And when they look at accreditation, just like hospitals, they have certain standards that you have to meet. There are 3 standards for North Carolina Local Health Department accreditation with 41 benchmarks and 147 activities. The standards are agency core functions and essential services, which essentially checks the capacity of our agency to provide services and how we collaborate with our partners to serve the needs of the community. They look at facilities and administrative services, which is maintenance and safety, protecting patient confidentiality, how we develop and implement policies and procedures, and governance, of course, with our Board of Health and our Board of Commissioners, and how they are involved in the community. We had our site visit on October 9th, and our agency met 147 of 147 activities.
Wow.
So the site visit team recommended us for reaccreditation with honors. And to receive that designation, you can only miss 3 activities. As I said, we met 147 of 147. And on Friday of this past week, we attended the local health department accreditation board meeting in Raleigh. This board includes county commissioners, Board of Health members, local health directors, Division of Public Health members, and at-large members. And they voted unanimously to award Johnston County Public Health Department accreditation with honors. So I wanted to bring that to you. We have a plaque that they presented to us, along with a ribbon that says with honors. But I wanted to thank my staff, particularly. They work hard every day to provide service to the residents of Johnston County. We had 2 accreditation coordinators, Nashara Van and Tracy Hadji-Petro, who kept us on track. 6 years is a lot of evidence to present. They uploaded over 1,000 documents.
Wow.
So they did a lot of work there. And I want to thank our partners and the community. They're why we're here, and we do the work we do to keep everybody as healthy as possible. I'll tell you that they were very impressed with how you all as a Board of Commissioners support public health and behavioral health. All of them talked about wanting to be a part of Johnston County. They looked up the tax rate and said they might move here, so watch out. Watch out. But I wanted to let you all know that, show you our plaque. We will be getting information out for a press release soon. But this is for you all and our staff.
That is fantastic.
All right.
Awesome.
It starts at the top, Doc.
Amen.
Yes, it does.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Can I do a picture?
Yeah, might as well do
Yeah,
it.
you do a picture. Mr. Chairman, while he's coming up to do a picture, I just want to say I have been blessed with the opportunity to serve on the Board of Health for
Steve Strickland.
Yeah, you
5,
come
6,
on.
7 years now, and it just never ceases to amaze me, the dedication and the people over there that are just working day in and day out. And Steve and Dr. Pearson, what great leadership we have at the Health Department. They do an extraordinary job. We've just got a lot of good people doing that, and I'm very thankful to be a part of it. But congratulations, and it's well-deserved.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Push that out of the way. Slide over a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna take a couple. Y'all all ready? All right, I'm gonna take 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, next up is the unscheduled portion of the public comment. Well, this is a time for any audience member to come forward and have 3 minutes to speak on an item that is not on the agenda. So if you would, please, when you come forward, please state your name and town or township that you're from. And just remember, this is a time for the board to receive comment and listen, which is important for us to do sometimes, is listen. So if you're going to speak, if you would come forward and state your name and your town or township.
Hi, my name is Kevin Saunders, and this is my wife, Tanya Saunders. And we've been up here before with some of the same issues. And the neighbors have built the chicken coop back without a buildings permit, and I went in and put in a formal complaint at the building permit. And also they tarped it where the water is flooding onto my property. And I already have existing water problems where the neighbor in the subdivision behind us has covered up the drainage ditch where all the water runs from the street between my property, and then it's supposed to run in the Austin Pond. So I got to deal with that, with to get them to dig that ditch they covered up back, and it's causing my crawl space to flood. And, you know, what I don't understand is that, you know, with me contacting the building department, I don't understand why they haven't been out there to deal with them building a structure over the size of 12 by 12 without a building permit, because when I built my garage, you have to submit the dimensions, where you go put it at, if it's from the setback, you know, when it's, if it's with the setback, if it's going along with the setback laws of Johnston County. And if they would have follow proper protocol by getting a building permit, I wouldn't be up here now with this problem. And, you know, the smell is, you know, back up like it was before. So I don't understand why, and what's been told to them to make them feel they have liberty to not follow the laws of the land when it comes to building stuff like this. And then hopefully I can get some answers today from somebody.
All right, so I think we may, Rick, are you prepared? I know that you've been here before, so staff is a little bit familiar, so we'll let staff address some of this.
Let's see. I guess you want me to speak in?
Yeah, you need it, yeah, same rules for you. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, board members, I did get an update on Mr. Saunders' situation late today about the chicken coop, and basically a citation has been sent to the neighbor on that situation. And it's the second notice and citation. And so our planning office, our planning director updated me this afternoon, so they're on top of this to resolve it. And so I just wanted to make everybody know they have been following up on that. And you may not have talked to, have you talked to?
I haven't talked to nobody.
Okay, well, if you want me to, I'll buzz you tomorrow, give you a call tomorrow and update you on any further action.
All right. But see, I don't know.
But I do know that that's going on.
I appreciate it. Because,
Yes, sir.
You know, I don't want to
Yes,
have
sir.
structural damage to my house. And,
Sure.
You know, I already got water problems.
You want me to buzz?
And it smells.
I'll give you a call
Hey,
tomorrow.
Dash, but if you would stand up, yeah.
But I just want you to know some things have happened, so she might want to.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sorry, it's just the smell now is going into my house. And the rodents and the flies have gotten so bad. I'm not one to complain. My husband is the fighter, okay? But right now it's gotten really bad. And just need somebody to care, okay? Just the smell is unbelievable. I don't know if y'all know what a chicken smell like, especially when it's wet. It's nasty.
Sure.
If you don't mind.
No, yep.
Sorry, I don't.
We're already
take up
pushing
so
the
much
envelope
time.
here, so.
I know Mr. Saunders had a concern about the ditches out front, and that is a DOT.
Yeah, I understand
DOT
too,
right
but
away.
yeah, I already dealt with them.
And then the stormwater, there was some stormwater concerns too, and those homes that were built behind Mr. Saunders were built before the stormwater regulations came into play. So I just wanted to update you on that part. But we'll get some more information to you, but I do know some action.
Yeah, and
On
I
that
saw
chicken
them,
coop.
and I saw them covering up the ditches
Yeah.
some years back.
Sure.
And then with this hurricane that came, I had water up under my house.
Sure.
Like
Yes,
this,
sir.
I had to go get a slump pump to get it out.
Yes, sir.
So every little bit helps, you know.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
All right. I'll come again.
All right, anyone else wishing to speak to an item not on the agenda? All right, and Madam Clerk, do we have any emails? Okay. All right, we'll move on to the next item, which is going to be addressed by Adrian O'Neill, our Parks, Greenways, and Open Space Director, regarding our regional park engineering contract.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I've come to you tonight to request that we be allowed to go forward with a contract with brain's gone again, excuse me.
Balfour Beatty?
Balfour Beatty, thank
There you
you. And
I read it quicker than
and
you did.
McAdams. We have have discussed a contract with them for a total of $3 million to start the Johnston Regional Park at Cleveland. The Phase 1, which will include 4 pickleball courts, 2 basketball courts, outdoor courts, of course, and a small fishing pond, retention pond. And it will also include the underground work that is associated with the park, and at least enough parking to get us started with these 3 aspects. These 3 aspects were picked because we applied for a PARTIF grant. You have to have 3 items to get the most points on those grants. We did receive $500,000 for that. We hope to be able to use a $500,000 LWCF reimbursement that we got for that park. About $1 million coming from Wilson Mills Conservation Easement reimbursement. And then we've got another $500,000 LWCF application in right now. Hopefully we will get that one. And then we'll still need about $500,000. Hopefully we can pull that from fee in lieu if we don't get it from another grant before then. So, and this will most likely be over the term of the next 18 months to get this done with the engineering and the site work.
All right, any questions for Mr. O'Neill? I think keep bringing it on. I mean, you got Austin there getting grants right and left, so continue on with that. And this is exciting to see we're to a point in moving forward to getting closer to actually seeing something happen on the ground. So.
We absolutely want something on the ground. The neighbors around that area I know have been addressing you guys, and we want to see that moving so they can be happy, and we're excited about moving over there.
I'm excited about you bringing this money in to help fund this. Mr. Chairman, I move.
Well, at some point we may need some money, so.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
I move we approve the request.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this? All right. If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay.
Thanks for all your support.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have Mr. Greg Walker with Johnston Soil and Water Conservation to present some more good news for us, I believe. Mr. Walker?
Yes, good evening. Greg Walker here, Johnston Soil and Water. I do have good news. This is probably the easiest item on the agenda tonight. You recall back in the spring, we prepared a grant through the Regional Conservation Partnership Program, RCPP, for $12 million to do to anchor our farmland protection efforts. We just got notice recently that we were awarded that $12 million. And so that's pretty exciting for us. It represents a lot of work in front of us, but it represents the anchor that we need, that we can use those funds to leverage other dollars. We'll still be reaching out to our state partners as well. So it just makes us way more competitive than we were before. So this is a big deal. It's a 5-year grant, and I know that the commissioners, you'll be adding some funds to it, and I think I've requested that we think about it in terms of front loading and the over the 5-year period, and that means let's get it set up, and then we work to close. And so it takes a little time to close that easement once you get all the pieces in place. So I'm estimating, based on the values of some of the easements we've got appraised so far, that we could take this $12 million plus the matching funds that go with that $12 million, probably could close anywhere from 1,600 to 2,200 acres. Just depending on how values roll and come in. But I'm working right now with USDA officials to prepare a formal working arrangement and work plans and deliverables. Hopefully, they'll have this money in line where it's come available to us by spring, if not early summer. So I'm excited about that. But we will continue our normal efforts as far as our processes. We take applications. We will have to submit those applications to the USDA. They got to do their review process. So that won't change. It gives us so much more ability to be successful and efficient when we apply for funds. And so I think we'll pick it up a step or two with this grant, and hopefully we can come back on some periodic basis to report to you our successes. So.
Well, I appreciate you accepting the challenge. I know when you've been up here before and in our other conversations, I thought you just need to go get something. You got something.
We got it.
You got, any other comments?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman. Greg, is the land that would be conceivably involved in this easement, is it typically in crop production now?
Yeah, I would say both, so it would be crop production.
Okay.
Now, there's some pasture in Johnston County. You see some of that, but I mean, so far, the parcels we've been looking at are by far crop production.
Right, good. And when do you anticipate some actual closings and celebrations on these farms?
So we let you know what's in place already in our office. We're closing one next Monday. We should close 3 more and probably by March. So after that, we'll have the next batch in place, probably another 7. So they'll be about a year off. So after that, this money will come into play. So that's the process that will just start to snowball.
Okay. Well, if you make sure you keep our PO staff and our manager in the loop so we can make sure that we celebrate this, because I know that farmland preservation is a big part of what this board wants to do, and is part of our land use priority. So
I look forward to that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good job, Greg.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, next up, we have Chandra Farmer, our utility director, from here to talk about a memorandum of agreement between Johnston County and the town of Clayton for Johnston County Long Range Water Supply Program. And as usual, you get the award for the longest title, and at least there's not an acronym in this one yet. So
Sorry.
Thank you for that.
You may recall that the county has proceeded with the preliminary planning for our Lower Neuse water supply. Phase 1 of that project will entail a new water intake off of Richardson Bridge Road, a new water treatment plant out on land the county already owns, development of an existing quarry the county owns, and some finished water mains. And we have been working with the town of Clayton to develop a plan for stage 1 of the project. You may also recall that the town of Clayton is anticipated to need about 50% of the supply that we're constructing, so we are working and partnering together on the financial planning for this. And the proposed memorandum of agreement designates the county as the lead agency, but through phase 1, the town of Clayton would reimburse the county proportional to the capacity that they anticipate having in this project, which is currently 50%. The county will invoice the town as we incur the costs, and the agreement also allows for us to enter into future agreements. We anticipate right behind stage 1, we'll be looking at the next phase of this, which will be getting more into working to secure a design build team, and we will be anticipating certainly to incur more costs as we get into 2025, so we would look at future agreements at that time. But now we're asking for approval of this stage 1 memorandum of agreement.
All right, any questions?
And you may recall, we have also already encumbered, the county has already encumbered these funds, so we already have a capital project budget for this project.
All right, and what is the budget?
The existing budget is, I think, $817,000,
Okay.
which is that's the owner advisor, our owner advisor services, and the gauge that we will be installing with USGS down on the Richardson Bridge Road.
Okay.
The river gauge.
All right, any other questions? All right, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the memorandum of agreement between Johnston County and the town of Clayton.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. And I believe you have the next one, and I spoke too soon about acronyms, so I'm going to let you talk
Take
about
it away,
SCADA
Chairman.
improvements.
SCADA improvements at the Central Johnston County Regional Wastewater Treatment Facility. We have bid this project. We received bids on October 31st. The low bidder was Dellinger Incorporated from Monroe, NC. We are recommending award to Dellinger Incorporated, and we're also asking the board to adopt a revised project budget. Our good news related to funding tonight is that we still have some remaining ARPA funds. That was the American Rescue Plan Act funds that were appropriated to the county. Those had been originally appropriated to our new wastewater treatment facility, but all of those were not needed. So we were able to transfer some of those to go towards this project. So those do not require repayment, which is essentially a grant, which is good news. So we want to fund that project entirely with those funds. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right. Any questions on this item? All right, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the improvements requested.
I'll second it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
What is SCADA?
Supervisory controls and data acquisition.
Of course.
It's how we operate and control our facilities.
Thank you.
I'm impressed you can remember all that.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of one of those that just rolls off your tongue, and then you have, ooh.
Think about it.
All right, any other questions?
I'll just make a comment. Thank you for being good stewards of the funds that we already have to make these projects happen.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Remember, we had a motion in seconds. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item up is the appointment of County Commissioner for District 3. And just a little bit of background, this was vacated not quite 60 days ago. I don't remember the exact date, but it's been vacated, and we had 60 days to fill that vacancy. We started with advertisements. We received 5 applications for that position. We chose to interview 4 of those. The applications, one that we did not interview was Jason Barber. Then we have Kim LaQuire, Mike Rose, Steve Woodard, and James Gathers. We interviewed those 4 last Thursday, thank you. Time's running together. And I will say, at least in my opinion, we had 4 really quality candidates that all would be good commissioners on their own. We kind of narrowed that list down to 2, and that's what we're here tonight to talk about, those 4 and review those. I do want to say that we did, as we're required to by statute, consult with the Republican Party. They were part of that interview process last Thursday, and I'm just going to, I think I can read this letter that we received via email a little bit earlier. It is from the chairman of the Johnston County GOP. I will say the requirements were you had to live in District 3, and it was the old District 3 boundary, and then you also had to be of the same party of which the vacancy, the member was, and which was a Republican. So Mr. Conrad said, Commissioners, as of October 7th, 2024, the District 3 seat on the Johnston County Board of Commissioners became vacant. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 153A-27, the members of the Executive Committee of the Johnston County Republican Party have reviewed and interviewed the 4 prospective candidates being considered by the Board of Commissioners, have confirmed they are members of the Republican Party, and have consulted with the Board of Commissioners ahead of the decision to fill the vacancy on the Johnston County Board of Commissioners. By my signature below, as the chairman of the Johnston County Republican Party, I hereby certify that the Commission's requirements under North Carolina General Statute 153A-27C have been met as it concerns the Johnston County Republican Party. Sincerely, Marshall Conrad. So with that, I don't think there's anything else I have down here to I will turn it over to the board for discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to get this thing on the floor. I'd like to move that Mike Rose get the position. Mike has been a member of the Princeton Board of Commissioners for 11 years. Has experience in the government, especially in water and sewer needs for the future. He's worked on a farm in Johnston County. He's been a teacher in Johnston County and has been a businessman in Johnston County. And I think based upon those experiences and that he would be a great member of the Board of Commissioners to help make Johnston County the great place it is. And will be for the future.
All right, we have a motion. I hear a second.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. I'll turn it over now to the board for any discussion. And
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to
Yes, sir.
offer some comments.
Okay.
I agree with you said. We had qualified candidates across the board, and whoever we pick, the county will come out ahead. I went into this selection process. I didn't know any of these candidates. I had no personal relationship with any of them. So the basis of my decision, I decided up front that I was going to look at the candidate who demonstrated exceptional business acumen, extensive overall business and life experience, and ability to analyze facts and to be decisive. I think those are characteristics that county commissioners should have. Ms. McGuire and Mr. Rose were both close candidates together. One thing that kind of tipped the scales for me is no disrespect for Mr. Rose. If that's ultimately what the board's wishes are, that he become a board member, then I welcome him to the board and will support him as any other member up here. He's an honorable man. He's a successful small businessman, and he has served the town of Princeton for 11 years on their council. I think that is admirable. When I looked at Ms. McGuire's qualifications, I looked at somebody who is a principal in a family farming operation that farms over 5,000 acres. It's a multi-million-dollar industrial farming operation. They market their products domestically and internationally, and her responsibilities include representing customer service to buyers from the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, and the European Union. She manages the fiscal side of the business and payroll responsibilities for 100 plus full-time and seasonal employees. She's presently serving on 11 regional and state boards focused on the advancement and continued viability of the agricultural industry in today's economy. That's an important consideration right there, is anyone who has farmed or know farmers know that it's increasingly difficult in today's market to be successful at farming. Those that adapt and have good business sense are the ones that prosper. Those that don't, they fall by the wayside. And those are the ones that are going to sell their land and move to the beach. That's certainly their right. I have no qualms with that at all. I note also that Ms. McGuire has completed the NC State University Executive Farm Management Program, and she's currently enrolled in the North Carolina Ag Leadership Development Program, which is an 18-month program, and she's about halfway through that. The only concern I had about all this is that I don't see how she finds the time to do all that she does, but obviously she does. One thing that really stuck out to me in making this decision, she had 6 formal letters of recommendation that were impressive. 2 were from major farmers in District 3, Batten Farms, Brandon Batten, and Mark Wellens with W.I. Wellens & Son, LLC. She also had a recommendation from Charlie Young, who is the agency manager for the North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance Company. She had a recommendation from Michael King, who's the town administrator in Princeton. Bryant Spivey, who's the Johnston County Extension Director. And Michelle Pace Davis, who's an incoming commissioner in District 1. The fact that these people wrote such eloquent recommendations for her, that impressed me. She also, the county received 6 emails from citizens. I think all but 1 are from District 3, supporting the selection of Ms. McGuire. No reflection on Mr. Rose. I had 1 email for him, and I had a call from a very prominent person who lives in Selma who also supported him. So I wanted to make sure that there's equal consideration there. But when I weigh the preponderance of experience involved here and what I look at the needs of the county over the next 2 years that's remaining in this term, then in my mind, I think Ms. McGuire would be the better candidate to fill this position. For that reason, I respectfully will vote nay on Mr. Rose in this process. And please, I hope nobody takes offense to that or say that I'm trying to split the board. I'm just being true to my myself. And I campaigned on bringing qualifications and transparency, and I'm going to continue to do that. I think these folks up here are honorable people, and they're doing what they think is best, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do what I think is best. So with that, I'm finished my comments. Thank you, sir.
All right. I appreciate that. And I did want to, this is a 2-year appointment. That was one of the things I failed to mention, but this is a 2-year appointment. So whoever is appointed, if they choose it, so there will be an election in 2026 for this seat as well. So I failed to mention that. So any other?
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes, sir.
would. I respect your opinion. Well thought out comments, Bill. This is very tough for me. I've anguished over this because we had 4 very good candidates. There was 2 that met my first criteria. I wanted somebody east of I-95. And we had, well, 3 really, but these 2, I had gotten to know Ms. LaQuire several months ago when she made a fantastic presentation to the Richmond Federal Reserve president, and very outstanding person. We'd be great to have her. I wish this had been a choice that the voters were making instead of us. But when I look at,
I second that motion. Yeah,
when I look at the boxes to be checked, though, as far as not only experience, but government experience, and Mr. Rose has experience in dealing with what we're moving towards regionalization of the infrastructure, so water and sewer. And he's been active in that from the town side, which might be beneficial. But again, I look forward to the voters dealing with this 2 years from now. But that's why I supported Mr. Rose. It was a difficult decision.
I don't think anybody that was in those interview rooms would agree that it was an easy decision, and I think we're very blessed to have such hardworking and amazing, talented people in this county that not only have a heart for business, but a heart for serving as well. So I think, it was a very, very tough decision, without a doubt.
And I would just add to it, it was a very tough decision, and I agree with, and support all the stuff that Commissioner Stovall had to say. And it was it was tough enough that 2 o'clock last night, I woke up thinking about it and stayed up for about 3 more hours thinking about it a little more. But it was tough. I mean, we had 2 really good candidates, and when Kim was interviewed, she talked about being a servant. You had mentioned a servant. And I'm like, Bill, I don't know how she gets done. And she forgot the young men now that she has to, I don't want to take care of anymore, but at least make sure they're okay. As all men are subject, need somebody looking after us. We get in trouble. But I do say it did come down to me, as Commissioner Godwin said, for experience. When I look at the experience that Commissioner Smith referenced, I thought that this, since this is a 2-year appointment, that we needed that, and nothing against any of the 4, but I thought he was the most prepared. And I do appreciate what Commissioner Stovall said, that this is a board that considers a lot of things, and I think one thing that we value is each other's opinion. And so the good news, and we heard it during our interviews, is that we can disagree on issues, and then we move on to the next issue, and it doesn't linger, and we don't go try to get even, so to speak, from others, that we move on to the next issue. And although we're not united in everything, but in general, I think we agree on most things and move forward. And that is the thing that I admire about this board. I'm sure the next board coming in, and on the 2nd, the folks that get sworn in, including y'all, hold on one second. Y'all three, let me get that right this time. Yeah, make sure we get all 3. And Michelle, Pace Davis. Yeah. So, but that was my thing is, I know I'm kind of rambling here, but it is great candidates. We're lucky to have people willing to serve and step out and serve, because it is not an easy position to be in, to fill. It's a lot of things required of it, but I thank each and every one of the applicants and the 4 who we interviewed. So that's might be Commissioner Harris. Did you have any?
If I could speak without coughing, I'm sorry. And I'm not contagious, I just have a tickle.
That's good to know.
I thought I'd just announce that to the world, that I had a procedure done and my throat is irritated from it. So anyway, yeah, I know, I see I'm moving over there. But no, I agree with everything that's been said. I mean, we got some really really good, passionate people about Johnston County, and we're thankful to have those. I think any of the selections would serve the citizens well. I never like to make a selection. I always like for the people to do that job because that's the most important thing. But I think either one of the top two candidates would be a great addition to the board. I do think Mr. Rose brings a lot to the table in his involvement in municipal budgets and the water sewer infrastructure, those things that's already been mentioned. And I think, certainly looking forward to working with whoever we choose to do that, either one. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? All right, and I did want to thank the party for their participation and input. It was a long day last week for everybody involved, and thank the candidates for coming and spending at least half a day with us. Appreciate them doing that as well. But with that, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any other final comments before we call for the vote?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to, again, emphasize, the county's going to win regardless of who we pick. They were all good people that came in. I was impressed by them, but there's no wrong
Well
decision.
said.
I was about to say, that's a
Well
great way
said.
of putting it, Bill.
All right. All right. So all those in favor of the motion, which is appointing Mike Rose to the vacant District 3 Commissioner position, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay.
With respect for my colleagues, nay.
All right. Then I guess Mr. Rose who will notify Mr. Rose of his selection? The clerk? Okay. All right. So with that, again, thank you, Mr. Quire, for being a part of that process, and look forward to your input and involvement down the road. We'll be calling you. All right. Next up, we have manager reports and comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. You may recall back before the time of Hurricane Helene, the county organized a donation drive, and you remember the results of that. It was like 16 tractor trailer loads of things that the Johnston County citizens came together. Also, along the way, there was also a fund set up for the public if they wanted to donate funds. And so, as it stands today, we're at $48,830, and this is funds for Western North Carolina. So we had a committee of staff members that got together a couple of weeks ago. We had the sheriff, Sheriff's Office, Emergency Services, I think Ms. Slusser, Finance, Mr. McLam, Finance was represented. And what we wanted to do is recommend today that these funds be delivered to Samaritan's Purse, who is doing a lot of great things in Western North Carolina. So tonight I would just make that recommendation on behalf of our committee. Be glad to answer any questions.
All right, any questions, comments?
I think it's a good recommendation.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
Thank you.
I have one comment, if it's not out of order. When I think back about that situation, that time,
Yes, sir.
I was so impressed with the Boswell family and Jeff Holt.
Yes, absolutely.
When they made those trucks available, and the sheriff had put his crowd, me and my wife went out there to drop off some stuff, and I couldn't believe it was as good as the Army. I mean, it was right in and out, and everything was organized. It was great. So,
And the sheriff may have something to add.
Yeah,
You got anything, Sheriff?
Oh, you don't get off that easy.
Yeah.
Come on up here. I made everybody else come talking to the microphone, so come on up here.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, ladies.
Rick made me say that, so if you don't get on anybody, get on him.
Yes, sir. It's good to see y'all tonight. The donation drive was a success, overwhelming success. As you know, we loaded 16 53-foot trailers that went to Western North Carolina, and Jeff Holt and, as you mentioned, Ted, the Boswell family furnished the trucks for 16 tractor trailer loads to go up there. They furnished the fuel, the drivers, the pallets, the watermelon bins. And I do want to thank the chairman and the county manager and the chief deputy for going with us up there. The first 4 loads that we arrived with, we arrived at a warehouse being managed by the North Carolina National Guard. We brought more on the first 4 trailer loads that was in the warehouse once we arrived it was overwhelming. And then to come back and load 12 more, I'm talking about 16 tractor trailer loads in a week from Monday at 1 o'clock to Friday at 5 o'clock. And it just wasn't thrown in there. It was packaged and double stacked. Mr. Chairman, you saw it. So, but I don't want to, I'm not standing before you tonight to take the credit. I want to thank my staff. On the chief deputy, he was right there with me, and we tried to manage this thing. It actually got unmanageable almost. The staff from the 911 center, emergency services, the county, and then the support from the board, from y'all. Basically, I called the chairman and the county manager on Saturday, and we shared our concerns and our thoughts, and I had this idea, and the chairman said, well, Sheriff, have you thought about where you going to get a truck? I said, I hadn't thought that far along yet. So I called the mayor over in my neck of the woods over there, and he graciously stepped up and said, we'll do whatever we need to do. And I'll be honest with you, on Monday morning, I told Benji, if we can load one trailer load, I'll be happy. And then I felt like I was mooching on those families because we needed 15 more for it. But anyhow, thanks to the citizens of our county who stepped up. We had a church from Richmond, Virginia to come twice. We had the nurses from Wake Med in Raleigh to load some trucks and brought down here. The churches all across our county, the fire departments loading stuff up. But to see our citizens drive through, one lady in particular had 3 youngsters with her, and she was trying to show them this is what you do in society. And I tried to stay on the line the best I could to thank folks. Mr. Stovall, I think your truck got there. I'm a little late, and we'd already left. I want to apologize for that.
No apology necessary.
Thanks to all the citizens of our county and the surrounding area, the churches, the businesses, the fire departments, and thanks to this board. You always support us, and I want to thank y'all.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Great job.
I mentioned I would like to recognize Chief Deputy Gaddis. He's right there in the corner there. But he did a lot too. But I think the plan is to, if the board's okay with that, actually get this check hand delivered to them. So we just want to make sure that people in Johnston County know that this money is going directly and who's going to, and it'll be used to help those folks.
Do you need a motion for us to?
I don't think so. If everybody concurs, if everybody's okay with it,
Absolutely.
we'll move forward then.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you.
I did want to add, well, you can,
Okay.
you don't have to stand up for this, but, so the one thing that we've taught, I don't know, for those who've been watching on the screen, we've got our logo up there, and through the branding process that we went through, there were 4 words that we associated with, first the staff, but really represent the county, and 2 of those words were responsive and compassionate, and, I'm thinking one trailer load would be, to wind up with 16, just speaks to the people of Johnston County and that responsiveness and their compassion for those who are in need. And it's one of the things that is great about Johnston County, that our people step up when they need to. So.
Not only that, but the amount of funds that were donated that we're talking about tonight, everybody's, been in the economy, it's not been the easiest economy, I would say, for so many to have stepped up and donated to help others on the western part of the state. It's just so admirable, and I'm so proud of our Johnston County folks.
And I will add, for the 2 of us, the chair and the vice chair, being from Henderson County, I was born in Henderson County, he was born and raised there. That means a lot to be able to help the people that we grew up with and part of our family. So it was special to both of us. So I will now turn it over to the board for board comments. I'll start with you tonight.
Yes, sir. I'm going to start, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but
Go ahead.
one of the greatest things that I got from our interview process was getting some of the constructive feedback from some of the candidates that we interviewed. And one of them, Mr. Gathers, made a very good point, and he said, when we go around for board comment, we should make sure we are saying something to represent our district every Monday night, and he could not have been more right in that. So very grateful for his constructive feedback. Unfortunately, I do have something, unfortunate to report, which is that, the beloved town mayor of Benson, Mr. Mayor Medlin, passed away, fortunately, peacefully. However, to know him, he lived and breathed all things Benson. It's going to be a huge loss for the town of Benson. So I just wanted to bring that to light, and then, again, thank Mr. Gathers for that constructive feedback. It was taken very to heart, and I can't wait to report something more positive from District 4 in the future. And one other thing, and not to steal your thunder, but just wanted to congratulate our PO, Adam, for graduating from the Johnston Leadership Academy. I had the opportunity to sit in on some of their meeting and training, and it's a big deal, and a lot of time and effort was put into that. So congratulations for one more feather in your cap, sir.
Yes. All right, Commissioner Stovall.
Only one thing, Mr. Chairman. They had the Board of Transportation meeting where they formally approved the resolution to name that bridge out on 70 that Commissioner Tony Braswell so loved. But I understand there'll probably be a public event sometime in the spring to go out there and actually dedicate that bridge in his name. And I know there's a lot of people that are looking forward to attending an event that would recognize him.
Absolutely, and I do want to thank, I know the Firemen's Association, I think, is if they haven't already sent the check, is going to do that to pay the application fee. And I agree, there are a lot of people who are going to be out there to celebrate Tony's name being on that bridge that he talks so fondly of. Commissioner Godwin?
Yeah, I got a few things to say. Commissioner Harris often makes a note right now of the employees of the county. And, one of the board priorities, county employees. I was just looking around tonight, from Dr. Pearson and Steve Strickland in the Health Department, Adrian in Recreation, Greg from Soil and Water. Just so many people have done extraordinary things, in this case, bringing millions of dollars to the county. And I think back.
Chandra helped. Yeah,
that's right. And Chandra, she's always spending it as well. No, we've just got outstanding folks. And I was in an association meeting in Raleigh this past Thursday, Friday to talk about their legislative priorities. And there was a senator there from Harnett County, and he talked about Jerry Medlin, the late mayor, and he said Jerry always referred to him as his senator. And I sort of smiled because I worked with Jerry on the RPO, Plain RPO, and he always referred to me as his commissioner. No offense, April.
Nice.
But we'll miss Jerry. And I thought back years ago when I was first back in the county, somebody was running for commissioner. I saw his picture up on a big billboard. He was in a military uniform. And I supported him from day one. It was Fred Smith when he ran for commissioner. And then later ran for Senate. We're going to miss him.
Just Harris, you're making me cough now.
I'm sorry. You're going to swear I made you sick. So.
Yeah.
No, I just want to say how much I appreciate everything. We're coming up on Thanksgiving, and we have so much to be thankful for, and I'm just blessed and thankful to be here with you and serving the people of this wonderful county. I couldn't think of a better place in the world to live than Johnston County, North Carolina, and so I'm just thankful for that, and I hope that everyone has a blessed holiday and that you get to spend time with your family and tell the folks that you love them, and I just appreciate you. So, thank you.
Commissioner Smith?
Yeah. Well, this will be my last time to make a comment, and so I'm going to take advantage of it. I just want you to know I have a heart that's got an attitude of gratitude tonight. I am so grateful that in the early 1970s, I got to move to Johnston County in 1974. When I moved to Johnston County, we had about 50 or 60,000 people. It's the population of Johnston County. The road from Cover Bridge Road to the Wake County line was a dirt road. And I cannot tell you how great it was to come to Johnston County, to be a part of and to learn to be part of what I believe to be the greatest industry in this country, and that's agriculture. And to participate, to prime tobacco, to raise crops, and to raise cattle has been one of my great joys here in Johnston County. I'm also grateful that Johnston County had the culture that allowed me to raise 5 children who have turned out to be, I think, pretty successful children. And I give a lot of credit to this county and to the people in this county and to the values and culture of this county. I can't think of anything I'd rather do than be in the stands at Clayton High School and watch my boys play football. I also am glad that in some small way I could participate in watching a sleeping giant arise the way the economy of Johnston County has in the past 50 years. It's been amazing. There are many counties that would love to be the leader in this state that Johnston County is, from a business perspective and from an agricultural perspective. It's been great to watch that. I'm also grateful to have the people in this county vote for me 4 times to be elected to public office, one of which didn't carry the day, but this county supported me. I was grateful in the 1920, 21 to be elected commissioner, to serve as a commissioner when so many things moved forward in this county. Rick was just cutting his teeth as a county manager and has matriculated into a leader of county managers in this state. To sit on this board, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but J.H. Langdon was just absolutely one of the greatest chairmen and greatest people that I ever served with. And Wade Stewart, the friendship I had with him was, we spent a lot of time together. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the opportunity to go to Raleigh for 6 years to represent this county in the state Senate. And the message I took to Raleigh was, if all the counties would be as efficient and effective as Johnston County was, this would be a better state. And then I had a chance to travel to all 100 counties to run for governor, and carried most of them, but I forgot about how many people lived in Charlotte. And so it was great. And then because of the recession that we had in the Great Recession, 2008, we had to go home and take care of a lot of business. And then I was lucky enough to be able to run for county commissioner again and to serve with these great people up here, see Butch grow as a chairman, and I think the county's in good shape with the people up here. So I just want you to know how grateful I am for all that this county has meant to me and my family, and wish all of you good luck as we move forward into the future. I loved what I did, but I have to be honest, I'm looking forward
Going home and taking care of my cows, so. Thank you.
All right, thank you. A couple of things. One is, we talk about this county, and we had many opportunities to celebrate our veterans last week, and I had a chance to attend 2 events, and I know there were more, but I think they were all well done. And say one more time, thank you to our veterans and on this board, Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Godwin, and Commissioner Stevens for their service. And then we'd mentioned Tony Braswell for his years of service to this county and to the veterans, not only of this county, but to the state of North Carolina. It's an honor to serve with those who have served our country, and I thank you for that. The final thing is, Commissioner Smith, we're not going to let you get out of here without a little recognition, and I think Rick has a few things he'd like to say, and then I'll have a few other things and a surprise for you when we get done. So, Rick, yeah. I was going to let you go first. We'll get.
While he's coming up, I would mention, if anybody's interested, if they read Fred's book, A Little Extra Effort, you get a newfound respect for Fred Smith.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. Mr. Smith, I just want to say how much I have enjoyed working with you over the years on 2 different occasions and the things that you've taught me. When we went back and looked at back in 2003 when you left the board to go to the Senate, and there was a few things you said at the last meeting, and if you don't mind, I'd like to read a few of those, a few highlights. So on January 6, 2003, Mr. Smith was this last meeting as he was going to the North Carolina Senate, and he threw some suggestions to the board. And one of them was to continue to realize the need to provide for necessary infrastructure as the county grows. He also talked about board committees and things of that nature, and I know that's been done. Here's one that's really special. It said, begin the meetings with a prayer and/or the Pledge of Allegiance. Remember that the county is spending the people's money paid to the government to be used for the public purpose. And one thing that wasn't in the minutes, but I do know, that when he was on the board the first time, he said, we should be getting monthly cash flow reports to know where we stand financially. And that's been going on for 20-plus years. I think Mr. McLam did your honorary cash flow there.
Yeah, he did.
And I want to say how much I'm going to miss you, and I appreciate all you've done for this county and all you've taught me. It's been a lot, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Rick. We'll just go back around this way. Commissioner Stevens.
I was just checking to see if I had my textbook, the first meeting I'll ever forget. Mr. Smith walked in, and he had a textbook about this big. It says North Carolina Local Government Ordinance, and I immediately went home and got it on Amazon, and I thought I was supposed to have it the first day, and I had missed something. So I'm only like not even a third of the way through, but I promise you I'll have read by the end of my term, sir. And I have used my highlighter and used I've looked up a lot of terms and questions. So thank you for all the inspiration that you have given to me and so many others.
Thank you.
Commissioner Smith, I've got the briefest term on this commission, but I have had the opportunity to work in state government to see your career, and I applaud you for your lengthy public service. And thank you for all you've done for Johnston County, and I wish you well in your next endeavors.
Thank you.
You know, I mentioned earlier that I was quite impressed with Ms. LaQuire when Tom Harkin from Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond came down, and I say the second most impressive person that day was Fred Smith's son. He made a very good presentation on behalf of the county, so I know you raised some good crowd. And I've seen you over all these 20-plus years, Fred, from commissioner to senator and run for governor, and I supported that as well. But we're going to miss you here. And me and you have butted heads before, but we'll always come out smiling.
Yep.
Mr. Smith, it's really been an honor to serve with you. You bring an interesting perspective to the board and to the issues that we face. And you always face them with facts and figures, and you'll break out a spreadsheet in a heartbeat with a lot of things highlighted on it. But I really appreciate that. I've learned a lot working with you. Your heart's in Johnston County. It's obvious every time that we face a decision. And I'm a little envious that you get to go spend time on the ranch out there, and I don't. But I tell you, I wish you the very best in all that you do. You've been a blessing, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Can I request our board retreat be at the ranch? Is that
That's a good idea.
As long as it involves some taste testing, we'll be good. Yeah. And I'll just kind of conclude this with, it has been an honor to serve with you. I know that I have learned a lot from you in those 4 years we've been together. A couple things come to mind is knowing who you are and knowing that your best quality is directness. And that's also your toughest quality is your directness. And knowing that about yourself and being able to operate with that, and has made me been very introspective in how I operate. The second is the art of negotiation. I appreciate you bringing that to this board, and I've learned a lot through that. But I think the biggest reminder and lesson is, and it goes along with these spreadsheet, is being an advocate for the taxpayers of Johnston County. I think in every decision that you had, especially during budget time and going through the detail on the budgets, but you were a true advocate for the taxpayers of Johnston County. And so that's the biggest thing that my takeaway in our 4 years together is to continue to be an advocate for the taxpayers of Johnston County. And with that, if you will join me down front, we've got a little something for you. And I know Adam wants to take, or Ben, where's Ben? Oh, Ben's over there, he's moved on me. Ben wants to take some more pictures, so if you'll meet me down front, and I'm gonna move this back, because y'all gonna gather for a picture behind us.
okay?
You'll be standing in front of here to start with. Yeah. I'll move over this way. So Fred, on behalf of the board and the staff and the citizens of Johnston County, I want to present you with this plaque for gratitude for all your service to Johnston County over almost 3 decades of service to Johnston County. It does have the old seal and the current logo on there for you, so you're the first one to get one of these. There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Take 3, 2, 3.
All right, let's just slide back in.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thanks, y'all.
I'm the oldest guy on the
All
board.
right. We do have a need to go into closed session, and I guess it'll be the last official action of the is the read. I don't know who's going to take over that role. Okay.
One last motion.
Yes, and we do not anticipate any action being taken after this closed session.
Okay. Okay, I move the board go into closed session for the purpose of consulting with an attorney employed by the board in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A3 and to establish or instruct staff concerning the negotiations of the price and terms of a contract concerning the acquisition of real property pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A5.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to go into closed session. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, after a minute to clear the room, we'll go into closed session. Thank you all for attending.